me, Edward Jones, back in a new video. Nice rack. This video on gun racks, obviously. I want to say I hope you guys out there having a happy Thanksgiving. Right now I'm recording this video as I make another trip to Manning. I want to give a shout out to Marvel's Mystery Oil. I changed my oil recently. This truck, I need to use 2 gallons of oil of Shell Rotella T 15W40, and I replaced about almost 1.5 quarts of that with Marvel's Mystery Oil, and stuff works great. It boosts my oil pressure, and it has the engine running nicely. I also want to give a shout out to all new subscribers. I want to say thank you for joining in on this channel. I hope you enjoy the content. Please look for new videos as well as check out my older videos. Now, as I do a lot of truck videos, as you can see, I always have I have either my Remington or my Mossberg up in the gun rack. One of the first upgrades I wanted to do for this truck when I got her was to get a gun rack. I gotta be honest, I've even been tempted to put a gun rack on my bicycle. Just kind of a shout out to King of the Hill. But I always something I've noticed when I watch a lot of older movies. You always see like a truck like mine, and they'll have either a gun rack in there. When I first moved to South Carolina, I was 12, and I didn't see as many as I thought I would. Now where I live, there weren't a whole lot of new trucks. Still people driving a lot of old Fords, old Chevys, GMCs, and what have you. You try to see that one truck, that farm truck that had like a 2 or 3 stage gun rack on the back window, and I always thought that was pretty cool. So I always said that the first upgrade I want to do to any vehicle I own, my first vehicle, which I knew was going to be a pickup truck, I want to get a gun rack. And I gotta say, I've driven around with this gun rack, usually loaded up without any problems. I've never been stopped by police. I never gotten any strange looks. In fact, I got more so kind of congratulatory comments. I remember there was one time I was driving to a shooting range, and I had the Remington in the gun rack, and there were 2 people on motorcycles. Well, actually, there were 2 motorcycles. One had 2 people on it, and another one had 1 person on it. You see, they both had GoPros in their helmets, and they pointed at my truck and said, "Oh," so they were saying they checked that out. And so one of them took a picture, took out a camera, took a picture of it. I guess because you don't really see it. You don't see that that many trucks with gun racks in the back windows. I think it's for several reasons. For one thing I noticed is that you don't really see too many single cab pickups. A lot of trucks that are sold nowadays are either crew cab, or they have the quad cab, where you have the 2 main doors and you have the 2 small doors on either side of the truck. And so it kind of negates the purpose of even having a gun rack, in the back window at least. I've seen some pictures online of guys. They'll have something mounted on they have a gun mounted on their dash, or they have like a shotgun or a rifle or what have you mounted on the ceiling. So I've seen gun racks like that, but you don't see too many back window gun racks for the reasons I stated before. Another reason why it might be a bit of a shock to people to see a gun rack or any vehicles, because I guess our society has changed a bit to where I'm not sure if not too many people hunt, but it used to be it was common practice that you would see a firearm out in the open if you had a pickup truck. It's kind of the mainstay with pickup trucks. Especially in the South. I'm actually kind of surprised I don't see as many gun racks and single cab pickups in South Carolina, but I do see them. Just not in many newer vehicles. Another point I'll bring up is concerns about law enforcement. Do you make yourself open to harassment by having a gun in a gun rack? And I think it depends on who you're driving. I think it depends greatly on your driving. If you're following the traffic laws, obeying the rules of the road. I don't think you have to worry about drawing attention from police. But another point you made about that is your location. Are you in an area where it's kind of normal to see trucks driving around with gun racks? Are the cops friendly about that kind of thing? It seems to be here in South Carolina, at least all the places where I've driven, they seem to be pretty friendly with that sort of thing. I've had Columbia, like I live in Columbia, South Carolina. I had Columbia PD behind my truck, and I've had even USC PD fall behind my truck, and I had a shotgun in the gun rack. I'll be on some of the main streets in the city, and it was never anything I got pulled over for. But it may be different in other people's areas. Let me know how it is in your area concerning gun racks in the description box. I'll make a video response. There's also concern about carjackers, or not really carjackers, but people who like to break into vehicles. I will admit I have left a long gun in the gun rack while I wait inside the store. Now, if I wait inside a restaurant. Now, generally when I do that, I'll be sitting in a spot where I can have my trucks in plain view. So I at least keep an eye on my truck, to see to make sure that no one is trying to open my door or anything like that, or break my window. If that is the case, I'll respond appropriately. But yeah, a lot of people I can see there being a concern for anyone trying to break in your vehicle and take what you have in there. But that kind of begs the question: is it if you have stickers on your truck that signify that you're into firearms, or that you have the series of stickers that show like my gun family, show like different little long guns and handguns? Does that make you open to break-ins, open to burglary for your vehicle? Those are questions that many people think about, and they are worth considering. I, for one, like I said, I want to get a gun rack for this truck because, well, for one, this is a badass truck. I knew it was cool when I heard people talk about my last video, "Oh Brother." They couldn't hear anything I was saying because the engine was too loud. But this is a pretty badass truck. Square body Chevy. I'm always talking about it. Manual transmission, diesel, 4-wheel drive. It looked kind of weird not having a gun rack in here. Got this trailer in front of me. But I think it also adds, for my truck, it adds a bit of character to it. It's not something you see every day. You see someone having a full gun rack. If I do more, hopefully, if I do more truck videos, you'll see different guns, in the gun rack aside from the everyday shotguns. And you may even see some goofy material up there as well. Well, please tell me, do you guys have a gun? Who has a gun rack in their truck? Whether it be single cab or crew cab or what have you. Do you ever get hassled by anybody, whether it be police or just other people around the area? Have you ever had concerns about anyone trying to break in your vehicle to take what you have in there? I like to see if you guys have to say on the matter. Again, I hope you're stuffing your face, with turkey around your loved ones and fall asleep in front of the TV during football. And I can't wait to see your comments. So I'm out. So since it's Thanksgiving, I'll have this video uploaded maybe the next day because where I'm going, the internet connection is not all that good. But any gripes, complaints, you know what you can do. Be happy to read them and kind of laugh about them. But that's my video. Nice rack. Video on truck gun racks. I'm Edward Jones, and thanks for watching.